Here's my camera. I mean, anyway. So I made a community post because I was watching a Queen Cup video. I was eating some food and I wanted something to watch and listen to, so I was watching Queen Cup, as I do. And then I looked down and I noticed propped up is like these three cards. Well, I see the card back, and I'm like, what? Picked up three cards: air, dark matter, and magnetism. And I was like, oh wow. And then I was like, oh, like I'm gonna read them. And then I was like, oof, I don't feel like it. So I just made a community post. And then I was like, oh well, guess I'll read them anyway. So we'll see what's up. I had a dream the other night. Have y'all ever had a dream that you but like I had a dream the other night, and at some point throughout the day I remembered part of the dream where I saw a full moon. And it was like in the dream, as far as I remember, like that was it. It was just like night sky with a full moon. And I was like, oh yeah, like it's a full moon. That checks out. Um when in fact it wasn't the full moon. It's actually the new moon. Does it mean anything? I don't know. But I'm gonna mix the elemental oracle with the enchanted map oracle because I want to use the enchanted map oracle. And I'm also curious. I'm not sure how nicely matched their sizes are. I'm also curious about this air. Oh, they're decently matched. Not that well mixed, but decently matched. Comparable in size. It seems like there's more enchanted map oracle cards than elemental oracle cards, but that's fine. I think I'm kind of surprised because I thought it was only 30 some. No, it is. It goes into the 40s because I think strength is number 44. I'm not doing a very good job at mixing these though. Give me 1 second. I'm a 2-1-2 this just to get some homogenization in here. So we'll see what's up. I am the sleepy. Excuse me. I know I didn't cover my mouth. I'm sorry. It's so rude. Tomorrow is my mother's birthday. How do I say that? Mañana es mi madre. How do I say my mother's birthday? Cumpleaños de mi madre? Maybe. I don't know. Hola, Holly. How are you doing tonight? How are you on this fine February? I was going to say morning. It is not morning here. It's morning somewhere. I don't know if it's, I mean, it would be the morning UK time. I don't know if it's late enough for it to be that early over there. I'm just like 1-2ing these so I can get a mix, you know what I mean? And then I'll shuffle it again. But I had like a solid block of these. And I want that to not be the case. I want that to not. Oh, well. Okay. Excellent. I think there's a few things I've wanted to do. I do want to do more of those rune readings. I kind of want to finish that series. I also want to do another before, after, in between. Like I want to use the before and after tarot. I haven't used the vice versa tarot in a minute, but I mean, I'm not necessarily feeling particularly drawn to it. Maybe like the vice versa and in between. There we go. That's a little bit more homogenized, I think. Yeah, it's mixed. Even though this looks like a no, it's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm doing well as well. I had a feeling yesterday that everything would change today. Today's an interesting. It was an interesting day. Um, interesting and feeling. Okay. Oh, I got Oracle juice. I forgot. That's another reason why. That's another reason why I came live. Again, I encourage everyone to follow their local laws and drink responsibly. Excuse me. The black cherry is so good. I don't like the harder lemonade, but the hard lemonade is muy perfecto. I'm still learning how to roll R's. I'm working on my accent. So I'm learning Spanish on Duolingo, right? And like Chinese is helping me learn Spanish in the tones and intonations. Japanese is helping me learn Spanish in, I want to say, the participles, but I don't know if participles is the right word. Like there'll be like a, well, I guess it's like on, in, at, stuff like that. Because in Japanese, you have like the same thing. But I don't think it's always an exact match to the grammatical structure in Japanese, but it's similar enough that it helps me. And like, of course, learning Latin in high school helps too because the verbs are conjugated. The nouns aren't declined though, so it's easier in that regard. Puela, puelai, puelam, puelarum. Like, depending on if the noun is the subject of the sentence or if the noun is an object, is it genitive, ablative, dative, nominative? You know. Once you know it, though, it makes reading sentences fairly easy. It helps. It helps with reading sentences because it's like if you look at the ending of the noun, you know what the object is, you know what the subject of the sentence is. There's like I think genitive is like if it's possessive or not, and then you can kind of sort of figure the rest out. Anyway, tenses always trip you up. See, and like everything is in present tense right now. I'm scrolling through Duolingo, like when do I get to a different tense? So far, I don't know. Anyway, so the cards that were just left out. Number 22. Oh, today's the 22nd. Number 22 Air, which came out with the storm, and it was storming all day today. I had plans today. I was so excited for today. Storming all day. Maybe the cards were trying to warn me when it was like air and storm, earth and inner core. Anyway, air. And then there's this dark matter card, number 38. And then number 39. No, number 37, magnetism, attraction. Dark matter is mystery, air is motion. Motion, mystery, attraction. And it's this very interesting, like, what was most interesting is the butterfly on her mouth. Kind of makes me think of the Empress. I mean, there's butterflies all over it. Kind of makes me think of the Empress in the SKT because she has a dragonfly mask and the tail of the dragonfly like covers her mouth. Um, but yeah, what was the full moon in that dream? I'm like, there we go. Who was it? Who was it? Number 9, Stormfields. Of course. Stormfields is interesting though. Because with air, dark matter, and magnetism, Stormfields feels like in a space in between spaces, a realm between realities. That's what it feels like. It feels like in the storm fields, it's almost like the tornado that took Dorothy to Oz. But it's like it's this space where um oh yeah, okay, so no. That's participle is not the word I was looking for. Whew, excuse me. They might be articles because I think like a and don't get me to lying. I don't know much of like my English. I know more about grammar because I've learned foreign languages. It made it easier to understand like English grammatically, but like what the words are for those, I don't know. Schoolhouse Rock wasn't airing when I was going through the education system. Stormfields feels like a space between spaces. It's like um, if there are multiple timelines or parallel universes or realities, then the storm field is like the space in between all of them, if that makes sense. Like, I have my phone, I have technology, and now I can just tap, tap, boom. Okay. So, like, if this is a choice right here, this circle is a choice, and then there are all of these, like, different timelines that go whatever, however they go. And then these, like, might branch off here. This one might branch off here. This one might branch off, like, all the way back here, etc., etc. Like, if those were timelines and stuff, and the nodes are like different choices and decisions, everything in black, like this is the storm field. So it's like it's this space in between where, and it feels like some things can like cross over between timelines, like this right here and like that line right there, if that makes any sense. Like storm fields feels like where like they can sort of bleed into each other. And so then like they basically become like time bridges. And I'm gonna pull before and after Hamfereld for some context. This is probably gonna be one of those, I don't know, girl, take it as it resonates readings. Hamfereld, where are you? Humfred, please. I know what you look like. So 77 Hamfereld right there. Of course. Of course. Ooh. That's funny. That's hilarious. So the reason why it's hilarious is because, so here's Hamworld, right? Hamworld's giving me that, the Bifrost Bridge is giving the energy of like the space through which two timelines communicate. I don't, is it a pilus? I think it's a pilus, Pilus. And that's how bacteria talk to each other. Pilus. And they can send like, yeah, bacteria. They can send like are they plasmids? A pilus is a thin, rigid fiber made of protein that protrudes from the cell surface. The primary function of pili are to attach a bacterial cell to specific surfaces or to other cells. And then through that, they can exchange basically genetic information. Girl. Right? Yeah, because here's the. It is a plasmid. Look at me remembering stuff. The donor, the recipient, the plasmid. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's making me think of a pilus. Um, so the card that was before the Bifrost Bridge is Swelginus, because why would it be anything else? Look at that. You see that? Oh, I love that it's focusing. Look what's there's so much depth. Like Swelginus is probably my favorite card just because of the depth in the image. Like I took a picture of it and I zoomed in and I was like, oh my gosh. Um, so Swelginus is on one side, on the other side is health. But the reason why I was like, haha, LOL is because that's the node on the timeline, right? Is it still here? It might not be. It might have disappeared. It might have went away. Oh, it's still here. Let's go. That's the node on the little timelines. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So, one second. Oh, look. There's like a blue around the rune that's making me think of the blue that's at the heart of the Swelgeness. All the way in there. This is excuse me, who was the Charybdis? It's making me think of I saw an Odyssey and I was just talking about Odysseus and the 20 some years it took him to get home. Um but there's like the whirlpools and the storm field. I'm already regretting this. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh no, oh, way too much. Give it one more. Somebody flipped over inside. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So the card that flipped over inside the deck is the magical map shifter. So this is, I want to say, the magician in the mirror from the energy oracle cards. But I guess it would almost be a combination of the magician in the mirror and the, what's the last card? Goddess of the moon. And look at the full moon behind her. We have the clock that we saw with Ravenous. Well, it's a compass. This magical map shifter, it's, I wonder if it's like, because in health, it's like the same, it's like it's looking at a nodal point. Oh goodness. Hmm. What momento? I know I'm like distracted. It's fine. So, because these the pili that I drew are crossing nodes, but with health, it's almost like, oh, I'm playing Wild Hearts, and in Wild Hearts, you can rewind, you can roll back the upgrades. Like Monster Hunter World had introduced a similar feature, but in Monster Hunter World, I think you can only go back so far. But in Wild Hearts, you can go all the way back. You pay a little bit of gold. You do have to pay for it, but you get to recover all of the materials that you spent, and then you can take the weapon down a different path. And so in that game, it's almost like you don't have to make, like, you only need one type of each weapon. You don't have to make multiple. And it's almost like in Final Fantasy 14, you have your one character, and your one character can be any class. You can switch your class at any time, at any moment. You don't have to create a whole new character just because you want to play a different kind of character. Like in World of Warcraft, if you make a hunter, that character is a hunter. You can't switch it to a shaman or a druid or a priest or a mage. Once you make the hunter, it's a hunter. You can change the race now, but the class is fixed. In Final Fantasy, you can be all of the classes. And so, like, you can be all of the adventuring classes and all of the working classes, like the blacksmithing and the goldsmithing and the fishing, farming, leather worker, all of that stuff. You can be it all in the same character. And so, because of health, see, but now I'm like, because of health, it's almost this energy that's like it's going back, it's backtracking to a node, and then it's making a different choice or decision. Or it's like it's backtracking and then going down a different pathway. So if we start here on the star, it would be like going here and then going back down here, and then maybe like coming down this pathway and then going up here. and we end at the circle. So if we start at the star and end at the circle and you follow the arrows, it's like it goes back past this node, backtracks to this one, then switches on this path, and then passes that node. I don't know if the magical map shifter is like creating the pilices where it can literally just like instead of going all the way back, you literally just like create a bridge and you go there. FE Iron came out strong. When you said FE, I was thinking abundance. Feo. There's some timeline. See, but that's, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that was the energy of Stormfield. It's like Stormfield is it's almost like the void. It's almost like this place of infinite potential because it's in between everything. And like dark matter, I guess I shouldn't be surprised too because dark matter is literally here. Linda, oh snap! What's up? How you doing? See, and look, it's in the void. And then there's this magnetism. It's like something in the air is attracting something through the void. Oh, goodness. I don't know what this is. I feel like every now and then it's one of those. Oof. Okay. Well, these are so good. Goodbye. I want more cards on the magical map shifter. There's a card in this deck. I was playing Wild Hearts, and there's this area with a lot of circles. It's almost like the Triskelion. But instead of like three, it's just like one, and it's the spiral. And it made me think of that card in this deck. A little bit more on the magical map shifter, please. I'll give it two more. One more. I'm choosing. Number 7, the moon, darkness. And she's standing in front of the moon. 52 is a 7. Okay, so cool. Got it. But I set that on top of magnetism because I was trying to make some space. Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. I know I've heard her. I can't, for the life of me, recall who was she an author? She wasn't an author, was she? Hi, Bixby. Who was Margaret Thatcher?
Here's what I found on the internet.
Not Batcher, Thatcher. Oh gosh. Former Prime Minister. So not an author. From 1979 to 1990. Ooh, she's before my time. I wasn't even born yet. I'm a youngin. I'm about to be 30. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's wild. I'm going into my 5th bonus year. So the moon. And I had the dream about the full moon. I don't even remember the dream. I just remember waking up and then getting an image of the full moon in my mind. And I was like, yeah, I had a dream about the full moon. And in the dream, it made sense. But in reality, it was a new moon. Maybe I'm just like out of whack or out of out of sync because I'm like it's feeling like spring in the middle of winter. My dreams are telling me the moon is full when it's new. You know, I have no clue, Linda. So where did my glasses go? I was using this deck recently, the Elemental Oracle, and I found air, dark matter, and magnetism on the floor. Well, not on the floor. They were like on top of a box or whatever. And so I was like, oh, let's see what these cards are about. Excuse me. What's I guess interesting is though, not too long ago, it was before I went to London, so it's a few months ago or a month ago, a monthish. Yeah, about a month ago. Um, I had a thought of like, what if like all of the parallel universes are laid on top of each other and everything that is not of the universe that we occupy is dark matter. It's like the dark matter right here is another version of Patrick that's literally doing what I'm doing right now, but different than this. So it's not the me that I am right now, it's another me or something. You know what I mean? It was something like that. And so now that the storm fields as this like space between realities and magical map shifter and all this other stuff is I don't know. This is basically one of those ones where I pull cards, I say a whole bunch of nonsense, and then I go, well, that happened. And then I go to bed. Um, Moon darkness for the magical map shifter. And I pulled this card. It didn't come out. So it's almost like the magical map shifter, it feels like she causes things that are unseen to be seen. In whatever way she does that. I have the Crow Tarot, but hey Matthew, how you doing? Thank you. No, my mom's birthday is tomorrow. My birthday is next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Excuse me. The Golden Palace, number 23, at the bottom of the deck. Did I? I feel like I talked about timelines. Yeah, that was the Nine of Air. The Nine of Air was thawing the golden timeline. Reen talked about it in her Pisces readings. And the Nine of Air, it was the card of Pisces season. Like the first thing that Pisces season is going to bring us. And it was the Nine of Air with the candlelit fingers. And it was thawing the golden timeline, the golden palace at the bottom of the deck with the magical map shifter working in the space of storm fields to shift something, to move something, to bring something. That's being attracted from through this portal. Okay. Yeah. All right. I feel like I feel like it's still kind of like out there, but I feel like it makes sense. Still at work. Well, thanks for popping in. I hope that the rest of your shift passes without too much um, time being spent or dragging on. And thank you for the early birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Cool. I wanted to pull around the gate of Sahakiel, or I wanted to pull. I actually saw my Angelarium cards. It was under the Enchanted Map. I'll go for it. Why not? It was under the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. So, ooh, where they at? Where they at? Where they go? Where they go? Should be right here. Whoa, not you. I just pulled the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. I was like, hold up. Here we go. Yeah, I had lunch plans today. But the storm ruined it. It's fine. All things in their time and as they should be. I am sure. Oh, okay. This is starting to make sense. All right. Which angel of the Angelarium is closest to this? Bottom of the deck is Tiferet, the heart. I'm like, where my glasses go? Tiferet, the heart is the bottom of the deck. That is the compass. 2 cards came out. And its beauty. See, that's where the compass is. The heart came out with the double crown in when I rolled the dice. And then there was the Empress energy. It was surging. It went all the way down to the root. So, Sahakiel, Angel of the Sky, is under Tiferet, the heart. And under that is Judgment, Gavura. Sahakiel's gate is the one in the Angelarium year 2. It's like a portal in the veil, I guess. It's this entryway from one side of the veil to the other. I guess it's not really a portal. I mean, I guess it is. Like, what is a portal? It was like storming here all day. Sep 28, and your dad's birthday is October 6th. My cousin's birthday is October 6th. My cousin. And then my friend's birthday is October 4th, and my other friend's birthday is October 5th, and Russ's birthday is October 1st, which is also my great grandfather's birthday. So I'm waiting on the October 2nd and the October 3rds to show up. And then that first week of October, I'll know someone who's born every day. Yeah, and then my youngest brother, his birthday is April 28th. And then one of my high school friends, her birthday is March 28th. I don't think I know a January 28th. My grandparents' anniversary is May 28th. So I know a lot of like 28s. Anyway. Oh, wait. Do I think it's creating a portal? I mean, it could be one is a factor of the other. Like, is it creating a portal or is it a result of a portal? Excuse me, I'm not too sure. I know it was storming here like all day. I'm like, oh my gosh. The two angels that came out, Malkut, the ground, the kingdom, and then Hasmed, angel of annihilation. Oof. This came out. Oh, it wasn't. I did. So when I first got my Lafruma deck, I pulled some cards and I did a reading and I uploaded it unlisted. And there was a reading of like entire worlds being removed, cleansed, and then other worlds being created. And so I almost wonder if, again, like this is going to be one of those out there. I process life in metaphor. Some things more often, or some things more than other things. Like my brain operates in metaphor. I'm a Pisces sun. My Mercury's in Pisces in my 12th house. Like I can just see how things relate to each other, even when other people don't necessarily think that the relation is there. Because there's the thing about like going back, go like retreating back and then taking a completely different branch. So I almost wonder if like this whole branch of the world tree is just about to like collapse and fall off. Because Malkuth with the angel of annihilation, it kind of sort of feels that way. Or it kind of sort of reads that way. But like Malkuth is it's the microcosm in the macrocosm. It's the entirety of the universe in an atom. But it's like while the atom contains a universe within it, and while the atom is a reflection of a larger, and atoms came out. I actually saw the card again yesterday. Um, Came out in the well. Let's see what's before and after atoms. Now I got two decks to look through. Oh, this is the card, the Wizard of Awareness. That's the pattern that I was seeing. It's the Wizard of Awareness. Um, but it's like while it is a reflection of the greater and grander whole, it's not all encompassing. So if that one atom, that one universe goes dark, there are still like countless others. Like if that one timeline sort of like ceases to exist, or if there is one path that leads to ruin, there are countless others where that same ending doesn't occur because different choices and decisions were made and whatnot. And so the Pillis is almost like shifting people onto like a branching or neighboring timeline as that one comes to a close. I saw Judgment. Angel of Judgment? Question mark. Who was it? Gavora. Judgment. Left hand Judgment. That's who it is. The Angel of the Sky in Judgment. Okay. I was like, what? I know I saw Judgment. Girl, don't. Very Ant-Man Quantumania. I am not a huge superhero person, but I know that Kang the Conqueror conquered some stuff and was sitting and trying to manicure timelines like little bonsai trees. There you go. I was like, what's the word? Atoms. 44 is strength. 40, 21. So Adams is in between strength. And I mentioned strength earlier. Because I was like, there's only like 30 something cards in here. And I was like, no, because 44 is strength. Adams is in between strength and field of dreams. The field of dreams, the storm field, like the strength with this field of dreams and all of the butterflies in dark matter. It's almost like, because the long way is to go back and to make a different choice, to unmake two choices, and then to remake one choice. So, like, two choices were unmade. The second choice was remade, and then there was a following consequent choice down that path. Like, three nodes were passed in this little whatever. And not that it necessarily has any weight, girl. Like I said, I'm just going where the cards are leading me. Where the spirit drives, I shall follow. So, like, this choice is unmade. We go back down here, and instead of going on this path, we then go down this path. So this choice right here is remade, and then there's another choice further down the line there that gets us up here. Right? And it feels like the butterflies, like something, like these transformations, these transitions they attract more. And it's like the more butterflies there are, or it's not even more or less, it's like these transformations attract certain outcomes, right? And that's not esoteric. Like, if you go to medical school and you get your doctor's license and you go through the full thing, like, and you put your resume on some place where people can see it, they're probably going to hit you up for like medical stuff, right? You're probably not going to be asked to be anything else. But it's like, had we made a different choice or had we gone on a different pathway, there would have been certain things that we encountered that would have been more. Now, this is taking me all the way back to the Queen of Cups, who was standing at the doorway, and then the door was open on that one chalk. And I was like, oh my gosh, the gate is open. The gate is never open. And it was open. Because it was like, if you go down one pathway, there's going to be one lesson that you learn. And after you learn that, you basically like essentially come back and then you learn a different lesson. If you stay in the middle, then all things like surge inward and you kind of sort of learn multiple things at the same time. But it's almost like, had you made a certain choice or decision or gone down a certain path, you would have faced certain challenges. You would have evolved in a certain way because you were challenged in that way. And then as a result, you would act differently. Like, let's say that you had a choice, you were going out and you had a choice between sushi and tacos, and you chose sushi. You don't like sushi. You found that out. You thought you would have loved it. You don't. You had that experience. Now you know, right? So that was like one. That's like timeline one. On timeline two, you chose tacos. Like, I was gonna say tens of years pass. Time passes. You never have sushi, so you always like think that you like will like it. Then one day you have some sushi, you find out you don't like it. Now you're not eating sushi anymore, right? A week later, after this day, there's an invitation to go to a sushi place, or there's a brand new sushi place opening up, and like, I'm gonna try to avoid tragedy. There's a brand new sushi place that opens up, and like, it's like down the street or in the building you live in, or you get invited to go, or it's like one of those soft openings where they give you free food just to like make sure that the wait staff knows what they're doing and to like test the flow and stuff like that. Like, but since you know you don't like sushi, you don't go to that, you go somewhere else instead. And at the somewhere else is where you meet a person that has seen your resume and they're like, oh my gosh, you're that doctor who went to medical school. And you're like, yeah. And then y'all go and make a cure for the next big thing and we eradicate the common cold. Um, but it's like if you didn't have that timeline one experience of knowing that you don't like sushi, or that later timeline two experience of knowing that you don't like sushi, you probably would have went to the sushi place because you think you love sushi, right? And it's like regardless, like that, the date of the grand opening of sushi in your relative time space is fixed. So you had like timeline one, you find out you don't like sushi a whole year before the place opens. Timeline two, you find out you don't like sushi a week before it opens. By the time it opens, you know. You know what I mean? Are you following the metaphor? I feel like you are. It's not that complicated. If you're not, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm bad at explaining it. It's like that. So it's like there are certain things that you would have experienced had you made a different choice earlier in your life or had you chosen a different path. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like you're still going to get what you need in order to like make the choice that you need to make, or to make the choice that you're going to make to put you on a path to experience something later. And it's like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if you find that out now or if you found it out 10 years ago, because the space of judgment, the space where that choice is going to like take place, is still upcoming. So you didn't miss it. You know exactly what you need to. And it's like that's the thing that somehow like magically shifts you from one timeline to another. But in a more grounded, practical sense, it's like there are things that maybe we never sort of learn. Like again, like maybe you still chose to not get sushi and you go to the sushi grand opening next week, and instead of meeting the person that recognizes you as the doctor whose resume looked phenomenal, they recognize like you in this, like you did a brief stint in acting in like commercials when you were in medical school, and someone was like really impressed with your performance, and it was something that like you never wanted to be an actor, you just kind of sort of did it. Maybe they paid people and you needed like money while you were in school to like eat, but they recognize you and they're like, oh my gosh, I really loved you in this. And you're like, bro, like it was some college commercial. What are you talking about? But they're like, well, you know, like I'm working on this thing and like meeting you here, it's all aligned. It's a sign. I know it. And then you take it. And now you're not even like pursuing a doctor anymore. Now you're a full blown actor because you love it. In either scenario, like you love it. You don't like, that's why there's no necessary tragedy. I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, you go to the sushi place and then the sushi place blows up and boom, like your time in this incarnation is over. If you would have not gone to the sushi place, then you would have had 10 more days until anyway, like either way, it can be great, it can be amazing. And it's like it's almost like to take the pressure off. It's to know that things will find us no matter what. And like you can go and be a doctor and then be an actor later in life and like still love it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like in all of this, it's like we get where we're going and our choices. But I guess also another part of that is like that's how the universe, like clockwork, continues to spin because of the choices and decisions we make. That's its like essence, and like that's the power of the divinity behind the creation of the universe, is that because of the choices and decisions that we make, like it can take those into account and then adapt, right? It's not just like this, it's not like one of those video games where you can't like go somewhere else, where you can't explore, where you can't go back. It's like it's not linear. And I think sometimes because of pressures that are put on us by other people, because of pressures that we put on ourselves, because of a certain like day-to-day monotony, like it can be easy to think that like there's this one path, there's this one thing, and it like life can seem like boring and dull and monotonous and linear to some people. And maybe their lives are, I don't know. I only live my experience and I only read what's in front of me to read. I can only feel what comes to me to feel. You know what I mean? So maybe it ain't for everybody, but like it's like things adapt. And that's this like something so far removed from the current experience is being attracted. That's why it's like this dark matter and this super remote magnetism. Like this is on the other side of like the black hole. And it's like it's a window into like you and your life. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like I want to be there. And it finds you. But with strength in the field of dreams, again, this just feels like because of everything that you've done up to this point in your journey, because of everything that you've experienced, it's almost like it's a little bit more order in the chaos. It's like it makes it much more likely that you'll end up in a position that you like, that you'll end up like hatching. Your dreams will hatch because like the dream has to have the strength, almost like a chick or whatever creature is inside of the egg. It has to have the strength to break out of the egg from the inside. Just like the seeds push through, I guess the young plant pushes through the earth and like breaks the crust, comes out of the dirt, and then it experiences the sun, right? So ultimately, like this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Whew. The Adams card that remind you? Oak Ridge cleanup. The original home of the Manhattan Project. I saw some. I mean, it's not the Oak Ridge cleanup, but I saw a video of somebody dropping something in a river in Ohio, and there was like, look, all of the stuff just settled to the bottom of the creek bed. If you stir it up, it comes to the surface. Maybe there's a metaphor in that. I know some people were saying Pisces season or the new moon in Pisces is going to be bringing up stuff that you thought was submerged, but I think I didn't watch like Queen Cup's whole video, but I know she mentioned Scorpio energy. Like, hey, y'all thought people forgot Scorpio and forget. Pisces was I'm putting angels in the Scorpio was the our Pisces was ferrying them down to Scorpio. Pisces was like, okay, here you go. I got to get back to the surface. I wonder if sometimes Pisces is the light of the scorpionic anglerfish. Anglerfish used to come out. Oh, I put well, I'm gonna separate them out anyway. I put runes in here. Ooh, I put runes in here. Oh, there it is. Health is the one that was still out. So I put Hemfroid, Bifrost, and Swelchness. I mixed it into the Enchanted Elemental Oracle. Enchanted Map Oracle, Elemental Oracle. Here it is. Here you are. Ba-boom. Let's shuffle this way. Ooh. Okay. I miss watching Ream shuffle cards. Final messages from the combined deck before I separate them. Home, number 27. Bottom of the deck is Commitment, number 36. This is a 9-9, 27-9, and a 36-9. So the magical map shifter is going somewhere. She's trying to go somewhere. The door in the back is open. Just like on the chalk, the gate was open. The Empress stayed in the middle. And when the Empress stayed in the middle, or the Queen of Cups, when the Queen of Cups stayed in the middle, there was that secret pathway that revealed itself. It's almost like the door opens on a timer or it opens under a certain alignment of stars. And when she's down this pathway or when she's looking over there, she doesn't notice it. But since she was in the middle, she noticed when it opened up and she proceeded to go through the door. But there we see the compass of the magical map shifter. So that's why it's given that energy of like, this is where the magical map shifter is trying to get to as she's like navigating the storm fields adjacent to the field of dreams. And there's like this, I guess it can be the afterlife in a way. There's a little afterlife-y energy like Tartarus, the fields of Elysium, and other places like heaven and hell. Like there's this area of the afterlife, there's this other area of the afterlife. There are many areas, different areas. And that space between like the living and the not living. And then there's this commitment here. The commitment feels like a promise made and a promise kept. Interesting. So now I'm going to separate these and I'm going to get final cards from all of the decks I use. And then I am going to get some sleep. Or I'm going to play wild hearts. Hopefully I get some sleep. Thank you again, Steph, for the early gifts. I love these. Cool. Should I count these? I'll count these. I mean, maybe I will. How do you? So I think I remember Amanda talking about his dark materials. I know on Netflix there's like a Shadow and Bone something. I think Amanda said that like Shadow and Bone and his dark materials are like connected. I never watched it, but I've been seeing. I literally just accidentally pressed the Netflix button earlier, and I saw like Shadow and Bone. But if that's like his dark materials, I might have to watch it. All right, Enchanted Map Oracle. What say you? What is your good night message to the world? I guess. Solitude, number 13. Oh, there's 3 cards. Bottom of the deck is Ghostlands. There's this like frozen clock. There's a frozen clock, and inside the wheel, it's funny. It looks like it stopped in between Gemini and Cancer. And I was going to mention Cancer because of all of the horses in the air card that were in the sky that I didn't talk about. And I was like, well, that was like a Piscean or Piscean Scorpionic energy. Where's Cancer? Cancer is in a deep freeze, I guess. Not deep freeze, in the Ghostlands. Um, but it feels like an area of stopped time, if that makes sense, which is interesting. The cards that came out: number 13, Solitude; number 23, Golden Palace; and number 46, Coming Apart. So the Solitude, Golden Palace. Hey Perry, how you doing? The Solitude, Golden Palace, and Coming Apart. It feels like that explains the Ghostlands. Like the Golden Palace coming apart. It feels like stopped time. It also feels like it feels like there was something that a humanity of yore knew. It's almost like there was a time where man and spirit lived harmoniously together. But man and spirit lived harmoniously together in a way that's like where spirit isn't behind the veil, or where like spirit is as visible to everybody as we are to each other. There are some people who have the gift of seeing, of sight. If some people have the gift, some people consider it a burden. There are some people who have the sight, but it's like there was a time where you didn't need the sight because there was no separation between the two. But for some reason or another, it's like humanity and spirit. I like I feel like it'd be easiest to say like humanity like pulled away from spirit in this solitude energy. And then when that happened, like the Golden Palace fell apart. The Golden Palace being like everything that man and spirit created together. Right. So it's like if there's a person in your life that when you're together, like you have all these fond memories, and there's like this sacred area of like joy and happiness in your life, but then something happens and you, whatever, for whatever reason, like you don't talk to that person anymore. It's like that space that you shared is still like sacred and happy, but over time, without either of you, or honestly like without the both of you helping maintain it, like it falls into a state of disrepair, and then it becomes the ghost land. Then it's like it holds all of these like memories and stuff. It's just like it's not what it was because nobody's there anymore. And then let's say like you reconnect with that person, and then it's like you two never left. And then it's like it reverts back to the Golden Palace. It feels like that's the home of the 27 with the commitment of the 36. It like thaws the ghost land back into this Golden Palace. Oh, it's card number 17. It's card number 17. And it's almost 18. 18 is the moon. I'm looking at the clock. So there was a mention of alignments earlier. When the planets align, there's this magical gateway that opens up that now the Queen of Cups isn't too preoccupied to miss, because 18 and 18 is the tarot moon. It's the moon in the tarot. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so that's why it's like it's almost 18 and the clock is shifting into Cancer from Gemini. So there's going to be like this alignment in a zodiac sign, but it's like it's through the moon. That makes sense. The moon is also Pisces in tarot because um, the celestial body is the high priestess. Cancer is the chariot, anyway. It feels like the moon has associations to both Cancer and the moon card. So it feels like they're both going up to the source. If that makes sense. Like you can bridge it through that association, but it feels like the emphasis is on that moon. I feel like I feel like this is the case more often than not, but like when I was reading that, I was like, I don't know what this is, where this is going. I honestly feel like it makes sense. I'm ending this feeling like it makes sense. I'm kind of surprised. Didn't know where that was going for a while. Oh my gosh. Your moon is in Cancer? My Mars is in Cancer. My moon is in Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon, baby. I feel like I've been seeing this card and seeing this card and seeing this card. It was at the bottom of the deck under another card, and I didn't mention it. I looked at it. Oh, okay. So a few cards flipped over. Hold up. Like they stuck out, and I put them back. And I put them back in reverse. The card I noticed is gravity. Gravity pulls things down, but with gravity being in reverse, it's not that like Earth is ejecting things into the atmosphere. Hey David, how you doing? Earth was in reverse. Rock was in reverse. And then marine life was in reverse. But gravity is the one that really stuck out to me. The card that came out is fire, ignition, and it's number 8. It's low key giving me Sling Ring from Doctor Strange, and how in all of their magic, it's like these little golden circles or whatever. Tim was by there. Excuse me. Fire is the element that came out twice. It's like we were in water, things were transpiring in fire, like it was the 4 of fire and the 10 of fire. Um, This is a U card. So I'm going to hold this up. What do you make of this? What does this say to you? The bottom of the deck is attraction, magnetism, 37. Again, like we saw it earlier, but oh, and then wind is under that. It's interesting. So fire is a card that came out. Magnetism and wind is the bottom of the deck. I think it's interesting because, air fuels fire and the wind can carry embers. I still remember that healing hangout. Was her name Summer? I think she was a Scorpio. She was there. Rayana was there. Corey was there. I was there. Reem was there, of course. Was that all of us? Was that all of us? And Linda. Me, Linda, Rayana, Summer. I really feel like her name was Summer. I really hope it was. Or is. Rayana, Corey, Reem. I'm pretty sure that was us. The healing hangout. I'm like, hello? Why is it a book not? Oh, I'll read it. I'll read fire from the book. There we go. Oh, look, open right to it. Fire ignition. Why is the remix to ignition? It's hot in my It's in my mind. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Mama rolling that buddy. Okay, I'm done. Sipping on Mike's Hard Lemonade, Black Cherry. Find it at your local convenience. I'm kidding. I am not sponsored by anybody. Here's fire. I'm not going to hold the card up because my arm will get tired. So, live your passion. Allow your spirit to drive you forward. Don't overthink the situation. Now is the time to innovate and take action. Be a lighthouse for others or find yourself a mentor. Word of power. Laga? I was like, Lagu, which is Norse for blaze. It is said that Prometheus was asked by Zeus to create man. Humans were formed with clay made of water and earth and were fashioned in the gods' image, unlike other animals. However, these new beings seemed quite helpless. No fur, no big teeth, few skills. Prometheus felt sorry for mankind and asked Zeus if fire could be given to them. Prometheus knew that fire would allow men to grow and thrive and would be totally transformational to their life and survival. Stealing it meant that all art and skills would only blossom with fire, and mankind would grow stronger with fire when used for cooking and warmth. Prometheus crept into Zeus's own hearth and lighting a small flame within a stalk of giant fennel. Fennel? I'm thinking Kasuri Methi. Is that fennel creek? Fennel something leaves. Took the fire and escaped. He gave mankind a small fiery spark that all others had been lit from. While man prospered, Prometheus did not. So precious was fire to Zeus that Prometheus was given the grisly perpetual punishment of Zeus's own eagle eating out his liver daily, having it grow back overnight, and then the whole thing starting again the next day. Fire is an element of profound significance. We cook with it, transforming things from inedible to edible. It provides light and protection, and it was the difference between freezing or not freezing. We burn incenses and plant medicines for pleasure, healing, and spiritual significance. We hold fire so sacred that perpetual flames were part of the honoring of many deities throughout time the world over. The fire element is the one that motivates and inspires us. It is action oriented and light, so those who like to utilize the fire element are innovative and quick thinkers, and they get things done. Fire is linked with love and passion and is often used as an element of magic and spells to attract such a partner. Element, it traditionally corresponds with the element of east, although in the southern hemisphere it is aligned with north. What did I say? The part where it said be a lighthouse for others or find yourself a mentor. That lighthouse came out the last time I was live, I'm pretty sure. Um, and then there was something else in there that stuck out to me, but I don't. No wonder why this book didn't fit. Look, I put the Elemental Oracle in the Angelarium box. I'm up here struggling to get the book in the box and struggling to get the cards out. Like, why is it? Why am I encountering so much resistance? It's the wrong box. Hello? Goodness. Well, if I would have picked the right box, I wouldn't have read fire to you. I just would have put the cards away. So there you go. Prometheus, the gods. We got fire. Oh, because I mentioned how the wind can carry an ember. And then it mentioned a spark, the spark. Nice. Who was all this? Oh, that's the Lafruma. I was like, excuse me. Ouch. Excuse me. Now I'm going to get the final angel. It's Estibus, angel of divination. Bottom of the deck is Rimth, angel of time. I wouldn't be surprised because the angel of divination is here with the angel of time. It feels like there could be things that our intuition starts to pick up on that it hasn't been picking up on. And I say that because it's like we're in this fated time, or we're in a time where something else can happen. And that goes back to the alignment of the stars. That's the moon and Cancer, how everything is like starting to line up and shift into this opportunity as certain ways of being and lifestyles are coming to a close to make way for new. um but it's almost like it would have been hidden behind the high priestess, or it would have been hidden behind the moon, or it would have been kept a secret, or it wouldn't have been like revealed, because the things that we have gone through and the things that we've acquired up until this point were important. And that was all the butterflies on the dark matter. That's the Pillis, the magical timeline bridge thing. That's like, it doesn't matter if you find out that you don't like sushi. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you find out if you like sushi or not, because whether you go to the grand opening or not, you're going to have this amazing life altering experience. It's going to take you down two completely different pathways, but either path you go down, it's right. And there could always be time later. Like, maybe you do acting for a hot minute and then you decide to use your medical degree. Maybe you use your medical degree while you're acting, and so your shows can be a little bit more accurate because you have the know-how, you have the information. um, You can go and be a doctor and then decide like you can go into acting later. And there's more to life. There's more than you can experience besides just acting or just being a doctor. And not only that, you can be an actor and other things at the same time. You can be a doctor and act on the side. You know what I mean? But anyway, the angel of time and the angel of divination, like it feels like there's information that's going to be made available now, or it's going to be communicated in a way, it's going to be communicated in a way that leads us to certain realizations or revelations that we might not necessarily have had at a previous time. I do think that it's curious that commuted is what I said instead of communicated, because that feels like whatever's happening in the air with all those horses. Anyway, um, yeah, or like I guess I would say like I wouldn't be surprised if um, maybe in a seemingly contradictory way that our intuition discernment leads us in a direction that it didn't necessarily lead us before. And maybe it's like when we're like but like it was supposed to be the opposite. Why is it all of a sudden reading like this or reading like that? And the divine is like, well, we never necessarily said that it was how you thought it is. That was your interpretation of it, because we can tell you the exact same thing now and you have a completely different interpretation. What the divine said doesn't change. I mean, not to say that it never does, but in this case, it feels like what the divine said isn't changing. But it's the way that we interpret it, or it's the way we receive the information, or the way that we interact with it. That's different. And that's what gets us a different outcome, or that's what leads us to different perspectives. It's just like it's time that we know now. I don't know. Something that it wasn't time for us to know before, that it is now time for us to know. So if there was a question that you had that you never got an answer to, you might get an answer now. You might not. I don't know, girl. But you might ask the divine now. See what the divine say. But that's like, so sometimes, and I mentioned it before, but sometimes the high priestess for me and the title card is the live life and find out card. Or they can be live life and find out cards. There's the rune of the future. And they can be live life and find out cards because sometimes we don't have the capacity to process the information that we're asking for. And it's like if we were to be told at that point, we would have misunderstood it and we would have gone down a completely different route. Or we would have done something hastily and unnecessarily because we didn't have the experience to understand. But after the experiences, then we get it. 27 was the first home. 27 was home. Rune number 27 came out. Hod, unseeing. Makes me think of Temiel, angel of the unseen. But that's not what I want to say. It makes me think of something else that's not coming to the surface of my memory right now, which is interesting. Like it's completely gone. It made me think of something that like bubbled up and then it was gone. And then again, we have health, number 61. Restore. So instead of unseeing, it's like there was something that was unseen. There was something that we couldn't see, whatever is in the ghostlands. But our sight is being restored. So now we're going to see it. That's honestly, it's kind of freaky. That's freaky energy. It's making me think that like one day we wake up and there's like this giant planet or there's this giant thing in the sky. Like if you've ever seen a picture of like this is what Jupiter would like, this is what the sky would look like if Jupiter were as close to the Earth as the moon, and the sky is like all Jupiter. It's not necessarily that, but it's just like all of a sudden, like you see something that you didn't see before. To me, it's kind of like jarring and off-putting a little bit. Like whoa, like kind of freaky. Like pictures like that used to freak me out. Um, Bottom of the deck. Who are you? This is the bottom of the deck. It's the back of a card. Wordhammer, which is the all room. This is interesting. This is super interesting. So something that was unseen, something that was unseeable, our vision, our sight is being restored. So now we'll see it. The bottom of the deck is the all room, which is interesting because it feels like it's something that's so deeply connected to everything. It's like, how can you see anything and not see this? It's almost like resemblance. It's like if someone's like, you know who like this person reminds me of? Like they remind me of like this person. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like the resemblance is uncanny. Like, how did I not see that? Or it's like if there's a show that you watch or a song that you listen to, and someone says like they point something out in the song or in the show or whatever, and then it's like you can never unhear it or you can never unsee the thing once you see it, once you know it's there. It's almost like that, but not necessarily exactly, obviously. Not obviously, sorry. Um, but with the all rune, and maybe it was weird. Maybe it was like WEIRD, weird, when you didn't see it, because it's almost like, how does this function? Like, how does this all work? Like, what's keeping this together? But once you see it, it's like, oh, like it makes sense now. Right? It doesn't, and it's like it might take away from the mystery, but it doesn't take away from the marvel. You know what I mean? Or the miracle. Like it's still marvelous and miraculous, even if you understand how it works. And it's almost one of those things where it's like it's even more miraculous and marvelous when you understand how it works, because now you understand almost like the intricacy of the detail or the minuteness to which attention was paid or something like that. It makes it more impressive when you see that there are even more moving parts than you thought. Take it as it resonates. If it resonates, when it resonates, always, always, always use your own intuition and discernment. um, Interesting times ahead. It feels like Aquarius season was really a setup, especially the end of Aquarius season was setting some stuff up that I don't know how long it'll be until we start to like really sort of see it play out. Maybe already, maybe not. Always. I haven't seen. I still want to see everything everywhere all at once. Excuse me. Wait, who? Oh, Wolverines and honey badgers. Did they? I promise they used to have like a badger emoji. Wait, did I find it? I think I might have found it. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Oh snap! See that? I don't. Oof, I'm better anyway. Am I done? I think I'm done. I hope y'all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And honestly, like it feels like it came out before. It was the golden. What was that? There was a thing. There was the energy, and it was like you're going along a pathway, and then it's like it opens a door in the middle of space. The shortcut, that's what it was. It almost feels like the shortcut. The shortcut, the bridge, sure. Um, but again, like it feels like, and that was the whole thing about door number one, door number two, the healing of that hermit providing enough illumination to see the exit way in the periphery. It's all coming back together. But anyway, it feels like opportunity or something major that is present, but it again, like it feels like it can be easily missed, or it feels like if we're too preoccupied, like we won't see it, or if we don't have enough faith in not only the divine but also ourselves, like we won't take it. Whatever it is for you, I hope number one, I hope it's there, because but I also hope that you see it. And I hope that you allow yourself the opportunity to see how it unfolds for you. I also hope that in the whole process, like you allow yourself to be human, right? I don't necessarily know if the divine, I don't necessarily believe that the divine expects perfection from us. Um, you know what I mean? Or that there is any like single definition of perfection. Anyway, thank you, David and Matthew and Linda and Perry and Holly. Excuse me for being here. I'm gonna catch y'all later. And until next time, yeah, that's it. I feel like I'm trying to like say something. Whatever I don't say, whatever I didn't say, may it come to you. Yeah, there we go. Good night.